Hello everybody and welcome to my little video where I introduce to you my top 10 animals in ARK. I have been asked several times which dinos in ARK I would suggest taming and which dinos I tame every time I have the chance to and which tames are super handy for me. So this list has my personal top 10 favorite animals. This is my very personal choice. So if you disagree with some positions and if you disagree with animals, please write your top 10 list into the comments because I'm very curious which animals you love in ARK and why. But now let's get started with the list. And this is my number 10, the Gacha. The Gacha saddle is available at level 38 and the Gacha itself is available on extinction. So you need to have the DLC in order to tame it and to get it and to learn the saddle. But there are many reasons why the Gacha is on this list. First of all, as an early tame, you are able to gather materials with them, and I'll show you now how this works. While its main purpose is probably not being an early game farmer, this is something the Gacha is quite viable to use for. The Gacha farms wood for you. It also farms fiber. It also farms thatch, stone and flint. So this way you can build up your base really quick and upgrade it to stone really quick in order to have a proper base and then getting all your other tames. The good thing about the Gacha is you do not have to knock it out in order to tame it. Just throw a bunch of things in front of its face and wait for it to eat them up and tame this way. The other big reason why you want to have a Gacha, though, is it produces crystals, as you can see here. If you feed it Snowall pellets and pretty much everything else, resources, structures, old tools, everything you do not need, and you level it up in crafting skill, it will eat the resources together with the old pellets and will give you these handy crystals. And if you look up at these crystals, they give you resources. You can also see on the production wheel, now it's eating, you can also see on the production wheel what kind of things the Gacha produces. Every Gacha has a different production wheel, so it's worth collecting them and finding the perfect combinations of resources. On number 9 we have the Iguanodon. The Iguanodon is a very handy tame because you only need to be level 30 in order to get the saddle. It has this like very handy ability that if you that you can switch the walking mode between 4 legs and 2 legs with the right click. And if it's running on 4 legs, that means it won't use stamina. It also can become pretty quick. So if you boost all your levels into movement speed, you have a very quick tame that does not require you to level stamina or whatever. You can like infinitely run. It also can farm berries for you. Not as much as others, but you have the ability, if you need seeds, to make the Iguanodon seeded in its inventory. It will use the berries and turn them into seeds. And you ask yourself why this is good? Well, if you need a very cheap food for your Gacha, having a completely full Iguanodon filled with berries, switching those to seeds will fill your Gacha for days. So this one together with the Gacha is a very good fit. And I mean, running around without stamina is also pretty good. Number 8 is a classic. It's the Doed. The Doed is probably one of your most important farmers that you will have in your ARK career, especially in early and in mid-game. You need to be level 34 in order to craft the saddle. The Doed is probably the perfect tame to farm stone, and that way you can upgrade your stone base. And no, I introduced the Gacha as a good stone farmer as well, but since the Gacha requires the extinction DLC and you probably don't have access to them The Doad is a perfect choice for probably every map that has them. And I think every map has them. So the Doad is pretty much your go-to animal if you want to farm stone. And need a little demonstration? You can roll around with the Doad and you take almost no fall damage when falling off mountains while doing this. And when you stand in front of a stone, you can just farm it this way. Another good way is when the Doad is standing next to stones, it will farm on its own. As soon as it recognizes there is a stone close, even if you're not sitting on it, it will automatically farm it. And why is this so good? So if you have an Argentus and you pick up the Doad and fly around with it, you can just fly to a stone and the Doad will just automatically farm the stone for you. So that way you can farm stone on your own with an Argent very quickly. And now that you're asking yourself, I found so much stone, how do I get this back into the base? Well, you don't have to ask yourself anymore, because here is my next animal, and that's the Basilisk. The Basilisk is probably one of the best carrier animals in ARK. It gets quite a lot of weight with each level up. So having like an 8k, 10k weight Basilisk is not very hard to get. You need to be level 85 in order to get the saddle. I think it's 85, right? Did I write 85? I did write 85. So you need to be 85 in order to get the saddle. But for it to carry your stuff, you do not need a saddle. You can just leave it on follow and let it follow you, and you just fill it up while you're farming. That's perfectly fine. So you don't have to tame it by knocking out, but you drop fertilized rock drake eggs on the ground and it will eat it, and you will get your Basilisk that way. For me, one of my most important animals when I go farming, because they can just carry so much. And this is one of the dinos I talked about earlier when I talked about the Doad. This is the Argentus. To make the saddle you need to be level 62. That is quite high, I know, and it has been changed a little while ago in order to make flyers a little bit more endgame. But this one is a pretty good one. After the flyer nerf it got a little bit useless, but it got its TLC, and the TLC made it really viable. It has a weight reduction for most resources, and you can carry, like I said earlier, a Doad with it in order to farm stone on its own. But it can also carry all kind of animals, and it is a very good fighter. Also, if you eat dino corpses, it will heal itself automatically. So the Argentus is probably one of the most important birds that you will get. And talking about birds, here's the Snowall. The Snowall is an animal that you get on extinction. You need to be level 61 in order to make the saddle. Also kind of mid-game animal, so not very early game friendly. But the Snowall is pretty cool, and I can show you why. Let me just jump on and let me show you just a few things that the Snowall can do. First of all, with right click you have a healing ability. You will freeze yourself, the owl, and everything close to you, and will heal everything around you this way. This is pretty nice if you're coming from a boss fight and you want to heal up your boss animals. Bringing a Snowall is pretty nice. Also, the flight is similar to the Griffin. You have like a dive flight, and you can be quite fast with it. It also has this amazing freeze dive bomb that will freeze everything around it. You included, by the way. And if that wasn't cool enough, it has thermovision. And thermovision is cool when you're looking for animals. You can see it's super nice for scouting. On PvP it's of course also good for scouting players. But here, if you're looking for a specific animal, using a Snowall with a scouting ability is pretty nice. Most of the times you can see from the shapes of the animals already what you're looking for. But if you lost something and you try to get it back, or if you want to tame something, if you're scouting for something, this is super handy. So the Snowall, little bit higher place than the Argentus, but you can probably see why. It is super versatile. If you have watched my other videos, this one is not a surprise for you. The Megatherium, or the giant sloth. This one is one of my favorite animals because it is also super versatile. You can farm with it, you can farm meat, you can farm berries, but you can also do boss fights with it because it is super strong, for example against the broodmother. You can also farm chitin with it, really good on volcano areas or even in caves. And it does quite a lot of damage once it gets its boost, and I will demonstrate you this. So let's say you are in the middle of the map and you find these insects. Killing these will give your Megatherium this alpha glow. And with this alpha glow, you do quite a little bit of damage. You can see on the top right corner that you now have a boost for a several amount of time. And with this boost, you can just kill Rexes with just a few slaps. And that is pretty strong, and this is also why people use it for the broodmother. Because the Megatherium will kill the little minions of the broodmother, the little spiders, will get the buff and will do insane damage to the broodmother. If you want to see how this looks, I'm going to link you a video where we did the broodmother, gamma and beta, and alpha with our Megatheriums. Let's talk about another animal that is amazing for boss fights, and that's the woolly rhino. The woolly rhino is also one of those animals that are not tamed that much, at least not from what I have seen, but these are amazing against many bosses. The big pro of the woolly rhino, they do insane damage with their charge attack, and another big pro is if you feed them veggie cakes, they will heal themselves while they are fighting. So they just take care of themselves and do insane damage. I am reading these at the moment, so I have a nice amount of boss rhinos. And if you want to see how we do and how we fought the boss on Valguero with woolly rhinos as a main group, then I'm going to link you that video. But now I'm going to show you how nice the charge attack of the woolly rhino is. With the charge attack, you basically just have to run. Make sure you have like an even ground and you are good in running and you're fully charged on the right side, and then you can just right click and you do insane damage. You see, this was a level 50 Rex, and it got super bloody with the first charge already. And if you see this one, once it's leveled proper, this one can one-shot Brontos, this one can do insane damage to bosses. So this is like a really nice animal. It does not have like the best radius of turning. I agree with that, it's like not the very best. It feels a little wonky and a little clumsy, but it is insane for doing bosses. Also, as you can see, it does farm a little bit of things aside. But yeah, with this like big charge attack, you're pretty much good to go when it comes to killing bosses or bigger, stronger dinos. I think right now the woolly rhino is one of the only animals, from what I heard, that can take out a wild giga. So that's nice. Only shows how strong they are, and that's why they are so up high on my list. It is still raining, but I hope you don't get discouraged, because this is my number 2. The Ankylosaurus. And the Ankylosaurus is one of the most important dinos you will have in the game. The Ankylosaurus is perfect for farming thatch, for farming flint, but especially for farming metal. In late game you will need tons. Did I mention tons of metal? The Ankylosaurus combined either with an Argentus or with a Basilisk or with any other carry animal is amazing for farming metal. And you want to have like nice high damage on them so they get a good amount out of the metal nodes. But this one is available at level 36, so you can get it quite early, and it will follow you over the complete timeline of your gameplay. Ankylosaurus is an animal you don't want to miss anymore. And now to the number one. What will it be? What will be the most amazing and most interesting animal for me personally in ARK? Any guesses? Should I make it more exciting? I don't think so. I'll turn around and this is my number one animal in ARK. The Therizinosaurus. The saddle is available at level 69, and this one is amazing. When they added this, it was amazing, and it still is amazing. It is viable for so many things. I don't know, having a few of these in your base will change your life. At least your ARK life. Maybe not your real life, but your ARK life. Because these are viable for doing bosses. They are viable for farming pretty much everything but stone and metal. I think they pretty much farm everything. You can even put their harvest levels into 2 different categories to make them specialists in different harvest categories. So you can have like one farmer for meat, and then you can have one farmer for wood, and then you can have one farmer for fiber. So this one is not specialized yet, but I can show you a little bit what it can do. Right click on bushes gives fiber. Pressing C on bushes gives berries. Left click on trees gives wood. You get a lot of wood also when you press C. Get more thatch if you tickle the trees. And yeah, overall they are amazing. There's not much that you can't left click or press C on or right click on. And also they're pretty good for most boss fights. They have like a really high damage. Of course they're herbivores, so they heal themselves as well with dino cakes or with veggie cakes. And therefore they take care of themselves. They're egg layers, so you can easily breed them high up. Just leave them on mating and just get your eggs, just collect your eggs. And yeah, these are super popular for pretty much every task you could use them for. Like I said, they farm pretty much everything but stone, flint and metal and everything like hard rocky stuff. But everything else they are pretty amazing for. And it just gets more and more if you specialize them further. And these are again my personal top 10 animals that I like to have in ARK when I have the chance to. Like I said, not every animal is available on every map, but if I can have them, I want to have them, and I will tame them and I will raise them. So these are my top 10. How about you? Oh, we got a few of these here. Look at this. Got a few of these here. So, what are your favorite animals? Which animals do you not want to miss in ARK? I want to see it in the comments, so head down into the comments now. Give me a top 10 list and tell me why. I'm really interested why you're using a certain animal that I'm maybe not using, so I can just learn from you guys. And I wish you a good day and a good afternoon and a good evening, no matter when you watch this. I hope you have a good time. If you like this video, click like, and if you like my content on the channel, also click subscribe if you haven't done this yet anyway. And yeah, have a good one and see you in the next video. Bye!